southern border.
Border crisis.
Southern border crisis.
Across the border.
Southern frontier.
Border crisis.
Our southern border.
It's stunning to me that this committee has an opportunity to hold the greatest family cartel in the history of the United States and possibly the world responsible for what they've done. And yet here you are distracting from your opportunity by focusing on the southern border, which is a waste of time, money, and resources. The other countries who have lower overdose fatality rates do not have walls built around their country.
An open border is an immoral border. We have de facto allowed the Mexican drug cartels to control our southern frontier.
Do you believe one of the reasons the gangs are increasing the amount of fentanyl and other stronger drugs across the border is because there's no longer money to be made bringing marijuana across the border?
We have a growing number of illicit opioids streaming across our southern border.
500,000 Americans are dead because of an opioid crisis. One of whom, and these are people, Ms. Pleus, you lost a son. Any reaction to the distraction from our Republican colleagues who apparently want to talk about anything but the opioid crisis and the responsibility of the Sackler family in creating it?
You are missing an opportunity to hold the Sacklers responsible. As A.G. Healy said, this will set a terrible precedent that any corporate protected family in the United States can profit from killing Americans in the future if you let them get away with this now. You're focused on a drug war that's a failure. We are here for the Sackler Act today, and I am disgusted that the committee members cannot focus on that.
That when we talk about the opioid crisis, we're talking about a hugely complex public health crisis that has unfolded over the course of 25 years. No lone actor gets you to 500,000 people dead. And I would agree with some of those who have made the argument in terms of the actual source of overdoses and deaths today, that it is largely at this point a heroin and fentanyl issue. It was my sense that today what we would be talking about is how did we get here? And I believe that that's an important conversation for us to have in order to prevent this sort of thing from happening again. So were the Sacklers alone in helping cause this crisis? No, it really takes a village to get to 500,000 dead. There are a lot of bad actors in this story. However, the Sacklers, OxyContin, Purdue were, in the words of one former employee from the company, the tip of the spear. There was a very conscious effort in the 1990s to change the way strong opioids were prescribed. We know that a lot of people who today end up addicted to heroin and fentanyl had an on-ramp, which was prescription opioids, that many, many people transitioned from one drug to another. In 2010, Purdue Pharma reformulated OxyContin to make the pills harder to crush, harder to abuse. And after that happened, sales nationwide of 80 milligram OxyContin pills, the biggest pills on the market, plummeted by 25%. Now, on the one hand, that seems like good for them. They've reformulated the pill, they've made it hard to abuse. On the other hand, what that tells you is there was a huge market of people who were addicted to this drug, many of whom then transitioned to black market alternatives. So I think it's important for us to be clear, not just about the risks that we face today, but about how we got here.